Oh, hi everyone. welcome, welcome to our fourth.
Yeah, it's our fourth.
This is our fourth live video podcast, and we are going to talk to you today about haunted houses. Exciting, since Halloween's tomorrow, and we love Halloween around here.
Clearly.
Yes, clearly. And we're just a little bit late today because we had to get ourselves ready, like with our skeleton.
We had to look spooky for you guys. So
yeah, we got to do this right.
That's right.
So thank you, Heather, for doing. Yeah. So all right. So gosh, we do love Halloween at Greene Realty, and so we have done a lot of fun things already. So 2 weeks ago, we participated in Roban Park Trick or Treat in Greencastle.
Yeah.
Trunk or Treat. We did that. We were skeleton themed. And then, last weekend we did Heritage Lake Trunk or Treat.
We did. Yeah. Good turnout.
Very good turnout. We loved that. We had tons of kids, and we were skeleton themed again. And then, so tomorrow we will be in 3 locations passing out candy, dressing like skeletons and whatnot.
Yes.
Danville.
Yeah, we'll be here at the Danville office. There's Scares on the Square here in Danville. It's from 6 to 8:30, and it's really fun. I'm excited to be a part of it this year. So we'll be handing out some good candy. So if you guys are in Danville, bring the kids by. There's a scavenger hunt that you can be a part of. But a lot of the local businesses around the square will be a part of that, as well as I think there's some other like little vendors around the squares too. Yes. And the restaurants will be open. So it'll be really fun.
Super
family
exciting.
Event. Yeah.
Super exciting. And then you could also stop by our Rochdale office.
Yes.
And we will be passing out candy from 6 to 8 p.m. at our Rochdale office. And we will also be at our Ladoga office, passing out candy from 6 to 8 p.m. So we're going to be hitting 3 counties tomorrow. We're going to have a passing out candy at 3 of our offices, our Danville office, our Rochdale office, and our Ladoga office.
Yeah. Really want to do it up big for Halloween. We love Halloween. It's super fun.
So come and see us. Exactly. So let's just get to it. Let's talk about haunted houses, because we have a little bit of knowledge here.
We do.
All right.
We do. So let me ask you, have you ever sold a haunted house?
I have not sold a haunted house. I sold a house that had a rather interesting basement. And I actually own a haunted house.
What?
That I rent out.
You have to tell us all about this.
That I lived in. Okay, should we start with that?
What? Oh my gosh, yes. All right. Yeah, let's start with that.
Let's start with the one I lived in. So I used to live in a home that was built in 1874, and I still own this home, and it's in Lawrence, Indiana, and old historic home, and beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful home. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I wish I could have just picked it up and moved it back home to Putnam County. When I moved back to Putnam County, I was like, man, I miss that house. Right. But so it was the Benjamin Smith farmhouse, and this Benjamin Smith family was a big family, and a lot of them lived in the home, and they had family funerals in the home. Because if you think about it, back in the late 1800s, there weren't funeral homes.
No.
So people had their funerals in their homes.
They did.
And they would open it up, and people would come through, kind of like the old parlor. And so anyway, this home, there was a friendly ghost there. And my master bedroom, the door would open and shut for no apparent reason. Over by this window, I always felt a strange but comforting type of presence. And I had put a candle on the windowsill, and it kept flopping off. I'd put it back up, and it would fall off again, and there'd be no reason for it to fall off.
Yeah.
And so little odd things would happen by that window. So then when I moved back home to Putnam County, I had these tenants that lived there. And one of the ladies, the tenant lady, she says to me, Amber, did you know there was a friendly spirit at the house? And I said, I thought there might be something. She said, well, there is. And she says, I have a picture of the spirit family. And I said, you do? She says, yeah, I was taking pictures of the outside of the house. And sure enough, there was a window, and there was a spirit family and that appeared in the window. And I said, was it the master bedroom window on the right side? And she said, that's the window. And so she showed me the picture, and you could faintly see it was a man and a woman, like a younger couple with a baby. Yeah. And then I looked back on the history of the home, and they had all died there.
Really?
Yep. So
like at the same time? Oh, so they were all together still at the home.
Yeah, I know.
That's wild.
I know. And so, so there's that, and that. I wish I was going to try to find that. I can't find that picture anymore.
Yeah.
But I saw the picture, and I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about you?
I've sold one before, actually here in Danville. Some great clients of mine, and they still live there today. They bought it like it was built in the 1800s, like an old Victorian home. And I remember we went and did our final walkthrough, and it was like dusk, like 6:30, starting to get dark at that time. And I took their picture out in front of the property, and then they were like, "Hey, we're going to snap a couple pictures," because they had some family in another state, and they wanted to just show them the home,
Right.
all that good stuff. So they did, and then we left. And probably 30 minutes later, my client texts me a picture. And again, I tried to find this picture. It's been many years.
It was already closed, right?
But it was already, yeah. She goes, "Oh my gosh, look at this picture." And she texts it to me. And in the front window, there's like you could tell it was like an outline. It looked like a Victorian woman.
Yep. That, right?
It was crazy. I've searched for this picture because I really wish not find it anywhere. So if I do find it, and it's cool with my people, maybe we'll share it on the Greene Realty page later. But crazy, spooky. Went ahead and closed on the home because that was the night before we were to close. So we just did our final walkthrough. They love the home. They're still in the home. They did a little research on it, and it was the daughter of the original owners of the home, and I think she passed away in the home. But they say she's nice.
See?
And same kind of thing. Weird things have just kind of fallen.
Door shut.
Door shuts. Some weird, strange sounds sometimes. But overall, they said the ghost's super nice and welcoming.
Right.
There.
And I think it's happy ghosts. And I have the nicest couple that just moved in to my home at Maple Bluff Place in Lawrence. And anyone that's ever lived there, and I loved it when I lived there. And I always felt like a strange sense of comfort in my master bedroom. Isn't that odd?
Well, they may be protecting you. I mean,
well, yeah. And I know that the couple that's renting it now, I know they're going to be happy there. So I would move back in, and I would feel fine there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's a friendly ghost, like Casper.
So, yeah. So I had that. Now, let me tell you about, this is just kind of brief. So I listed a house in rural Rochdale.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking around with the sellers, and they were showing me the house before I listed it, and we were talking about specifics of the home. And they said, "There's something really strange in the basement we need to tell you about." So they openly disclosed it.
Yeah.
You can't not disclose it. So I walked down into the basement, and they're like, "Yeah, see, look there on the wall." So I walk down. The first thing I get to the bottom of the steps, and you see the basement wall, and you see like the ductwork from the furnace and everything.
Yep.
And then there's these two doll faces, like built into the concrete wall or something.
Oh, that's
and
weird.
I think, we've got we actually have a picture.
We have a picture. Yeah, you did find a picture of that.
So this picture you're seeing is real. So I said to them, I said, "Oh, wow." I said, "How did those get there? It looks like you put them there." And nope, that's what it was like when we bought it. And I said, "Oh," and they said, "Yeah, we just didn't have the heart to, like concrete over them or mortar over them. We
just poor doll faces."
So there's two doll faces in there. And they said, "Well, should we mortar over them before we list the house for sale?" I said, "No, not really." I said, "Because then you'd be just, you'd be disclosed. You have to sort. I didn't know if they should disclose it or not, but we just decided, we're just going to have the doll faces." And so anyway, whenever it was interesting because obviously people would see the home and they'd see the doll faces. And I had a lot of different buyer's brokers ask me, "Did you know there were doll faces on the wall?" Well, yeah. I mean, how do you not see them? Yep. No, we didn't.
Stick out like a sore thumb.
Be like, "Hey, what's the story about that?" I said, "Don't really know. There's just doll faces on the wall."
Yeah.
And then, my sellers said that they never had any issues. It wasn't haunted at all. And so anyway, and the buyers that bought it, they thought the doll faces were cute. And that's that, right? So those are my two experiences.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, we do. I've been in several homes that I could kind of feel something weird too. Like a weird, I felt like they were probably haunted.
And I think this is a good time for some education because there is a law about this. There is a law about whether or not you have to disclose if your house is haunted. So tell us about that.
So it's that would be called a psychologically affected property in real estate terms. And there is actually an Indiana disclosure law. There's Indiana Code 3221-6-6 if you guys want to look it up. Extra time. Just want to check us.
Check us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Know what we're talking about here.
So what has to be disclosed is any material defects that would affect the physical condition or value of a property. Obviously, we know that when we have people fill out their seller's disclosure, we tell them you need to say everything that you know. Disclose, disclose, disclose is always my motto when it comes to that.
Exactly. I think you err on the side of disclosing.
You do, because you never want to be
Nope. You want every buyer to know what they're
withholding any info.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. But what's interesting is you do not have to disclose deaths on a property, whether they're natural, accidental, or otherwise. You don't have to disclose alleged paranormal activity or crimes that have occurred there. Now, we as agents can't lie. We never want to lie,
Correct.
Obviously, if we're asked directly, but we're just not required to volunteer that info. Because we're working on behalf of our sellers there. But if a buyer asks directly per the Indiana code, it's best to answer honestly, obviously.
Right.
To be honest, or refer them to do their own research. So
say you've got a house listed and I bring my buyer and I'm like, hey, Heather, does Casper live here? How would you answer that question?
If I knew, I would tell you, I think so. You may want to do your own research, though.
Casper's friendly, though. Okay. Yeah. So you would say, yes.
If sellers have told me, then yeah, I think that it's a duty for me to disclose that, and then people can decide
whether or not
that works for them or not.
Correct.
Correct. Do turn out friendly.
Well, and I think a lot of times, right, and then, yeah, and this is such a unique thing, and it doesn't happen often.
No, not very often. Not very often at all. So, but just a little fun fact for you. You don't have to disclose it.
If you're a seller.
But we as agents can't lie if we're asked directly.
Correct.
I think that's a good way to kind of sum that up.
And I suppose if you're a buyer that is concerned about it, if you're thinking, I don't want to live in a haunted house, or, oh my gosh, this is something I'm worried about.
Yeah.
That's a question you should ask.
That's a question you should ask.
Or you should say to your broker, I don't want to live in a haunted house. Will you make sure this one isn't haunted?
Yeah. And I would do research.
And research it yourself.
Yeah. On top of asking, the questions to the actual sellers or their agent.
I think that is a fair law.
So.
Right. And but basically if you do have faces on a wall, obvious they're there.
It might be.
You walk down into the basement and there they are. It's like, oh, hi, ladies.
I don't know if you see these like on social media where people are like remodeling their kitchen and they'll like put a new island in and they'll put like a fake skeleton you can get.
I wanted to do that.
I think that's so funny.
I always thought I want to do that on a flip house.
Yes.
Like if
I've always thought about it too.
A skull.
Yeah.
Right.
And then people are like, oh gosh, if they, because eventually it's probably going to be remodeled.
We forgot to put our skull deco out.
Oh, that's all right.
That's all right. Anyway.
So many things going on. So yeah, we've kind of talked about our haunted property experiences. I did a little research, and just being from Hendricks County myself, I know of a few of these, and I thought it'd be kind of fun if
we talked about haunted
areas stuff in Hendricks County.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you? I'm ready to hear about a few places.
I'm ready. I want to go visit. I like this kind of stuff. I think it'd be fun to take.
It's kind of fun.
I love going to haunted places.
Yeah. So I'm going to just talk about 5 different spots in Hendricks County that are known to be haunted or alleged to be haunted. And yeah, it's a fun story. So the first one is Sugar Grove Cemetery in Plainfield. And there's a lore behind all of these. So the lore behind Sugar Grove is in 1893, a Plainfield man named Taylor Reagan and his wife reported seeing a ghostly rider on a legless horse.
Oh, it's like the headless horse.
Yeah, like the headless horse, but the horse didn't have any legs.
But it was still riding.
I don't know how that works. Obviously, it was flying in the air. I don't know. I see a lot in my head.
It was a Pegasus. It was a Pegasus.
Yeah.
Wait, is that
right?
Yeah.
Pegasus maybe so. That they said it was a legless horse riding next to his buggy down a dark country road. Ooh. No matter how fast he went or how many times he fired his gun at the rider, well, that's a fine how do you do, figure kept pace and never acknowledged Reagan. As they neared Sugar Grove Cemetery, the rider turned into the graveyard and disappeared, leaving only questions behind.
Oh.
That's kind of creepy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So that's Sugar Grove Cemetery in
So we can
Plainfield.
go to Plainfield to see that.
So that's where you'd want to go there
Okay.
to see that one. The next one is right here in Danville, and it's Hargrave Hall. And actually, when I was growing up, I'm from Danville, obviously, originally, and I went to my junior high was part of my classes were in Hargrave Hall, and that used to be a college. Used to be Central Normal College. So, and I can attest there's some spirits there.
Uh-huh.
I felt it as a kid in junior high. It's pretty crazy. So Hargrave Hall was once part of Central Normal College in Danville, and it's now part. They've since moved the junior high. Well, now it's the middle school, but it is now the government offices, so it's a part of that. But it has earned a haunted reputation that's hard to ignore. Staff and police have reported hearing footsteps, slamming doors, and running water in empty rooms. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then one custodian even refused to enter certain parts of the building after witnessing the strange activity firsthand. Imagine being a janitor.
Sure. You're the janitor, you're there by yourself at night, right?
That would freak me out a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Some ghost hunters claim to have captured an apparition descending the staircase, making Danville Town Hall one of the country's most unsettling landmarks. Very spooky. Very spooky. And right down the road from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so we could. Yeah. So that's
So that's one of the places.
Can people still go in there and everything?
Oh yeah. It's open to the public. I mean, the police. I believe the police department's now housed in there, and the town and all that. All that good stuff is in there.
All right.
So yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. So the next one is the Royal Theater in Danville.
Yes.
So right down the road on the square from us. It was opened in 1914, and so it has a lot of history and a few ghost stories to match. Staff have reported faucets turning on by themselves, which seems to be pretty common. Mysterious footsteps.
Well, ghosts get thirsty. Didn't you know that?
Oh, yeah. They gotta wash their hand. If you stay clean. They sure do.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, so faucets have turned on, mysterious footsteps in empty rooms, and even hearing their names whispered when no one's around. It's kind of crazy. It gives me some chills. Paranormal investigators claim to have picked up strange activity throughout the building, through the theater. And the theater still welcomes guests every weekends for movies and events. I mean, it's open to the, it's still a running theater, shows the new movies. So they
does it ever show Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I've seen Ghostbusters there. Yeah, who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call?
Yeah, it says the theater still welcomes guests every weekends for movies and events, ghosts included.
See, they should do horror movies like the whole month of October or something.
That would be really fun.
I think that'd be fun.
That would be fun. Yeah. Number 4 is Hadley Friends Cemetery, so another cemetery.
And that is
that one is tucked away near the crossroads of County Roads 400 West and 200 South, and it has a reputation for being haunted, but nobody is quite sure by whom. Is what it said.
Is that Danville?
Hadley, it's close.
So it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the small town's deep ties to the Underground Railroad adds to its mysterious past, with whispers of restless spirits connected to those seeking freedom. Whether it's history or hauntings, Hadley's eerie calm has kept locals curious for generations. So that's another cemetery that you can visit and see if it's indeed as haunted as they say.
Should we just take the day off and head out to some of these now? I mean, we're dressed the part.
We're ready.
Yeah.
We'd feel right at home.
I know. If it wasn't for that closing, I have a closing at 2:30.
And she's going to go.
And I'm just going to.
As a skeleton.
Yeah. I told everybody. I told my buyers, do you mind if I come as a skeleton?
Yeah.
No, that'd be fine. They're like, what a weirdo.
Well, just try to have fun.
I'm going to show up like this because I have to go straight from here to there.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. People are going to look at you like
should I take
when you're driving in your car.
I know. Should I take the gloves off?
Well, maybe while you drive, but then I would put them on for your
Right?
It'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Okay.
And then our last spot in Hendricks County And maybe one of the most famous is the Avon Haunted Bridge.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you heard the lore behind it?
No, but I have heard of it.
Okay, so in 1906, railroad span of County Road 625 East that still actually carries the CSX trains. Legend says a young mother slipped from the tracks with her baby, which is kind of sad. And late night visitors swear they hear her desperate cries echoing under the arches. That's, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just east on 36 in Avon. And then Twin Bridges, which was also built in 1906, has its own lore. A construction worker, Dad Jones, supposedly fell into wet concrete and was entombed there.
oh.
That's always the story I heard
Mhm.
growing up, too. 2 bridges, 2 chilling stories, perfect for a midnight fall drive with the windows down. Maybe you can hear them.
Oh. I'm so excited for tomorrow for Halloween.
Love you. Halloween. Favorite part about Halloween?
Dressing up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and just seeing all the I love seeing kids dressed up.
I do
And
too.
how excited they are about candy.
I do too. And I love to see like the creativity of the costumes because
Mhm.
some people really go all out and
Yep.
it was awesome.
And
It's
I used to
awesome.
always dress up with my kids when I took them trick or treating. Like,
Did you?
yeah, I just like dressing up.
Oh yeah.
It's fun.
Me too. One year we did Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
And that was maybe my favorite one
Uh-huh.
because Adeline was Velma, Cameron was Shaggy.
I saw you and
Yeah,
Matt.
Matt was Fred,
Right.
and I was Daphne.
Yes.
It was really fun.
And what we've started doing at Greene Realty is every year we sort of have a theme. Last year we
Yes.
were green witches,
Yep.
and I had a green wig and witch costume and all that. And then this year it's skeletons.
Yes.
So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do next year.
No.
But I like to participate. It's fun to get involved in the community and see all the people and give out candy to the kids, and we just like to be a part of things.
Absolutely.
So-
That's what it's all about,
Right.
right? Make it fun.
Exactly.
You know, if it's not fun, why do it?
Why do
so,
So
yeah. So,
I think we've covered a lot of topics today.
yeah, absolutely.
And now you know if you got a haunted house. Oh, and we'll list it for you.
Oh, for sure. We're not scared.
Dressed like this at the open house and everything.
Yeah, that's right. We're not afraid of no ghosts.
Afraid of no ghost. So
Yeah. So I would just encourage you guys, like, if you're into that, like the paranormal, these 5 places, like, you could do a lot more studying into them. It's kind of fun,
Yeah.
to uncover all that and
Do
know
you
that there's
I have
areas like that.
I'm not from Danville, but I'm just I'm from Roachdale, which is just a neighboring town in a neighboring county. I've never been to the Royal Theater to watch a movie.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? So
we got to take
that's
that.
a must.
Yes.
That's something that I'm going to do in 2026.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
that was the spot to be when I was in high school. Your parents had to drop you off down the road because you sure
the Royal
didn't. You
Theater.
didn't want to be dropped off right in
Right.
front. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, so you could just walk and still look cool.
Yeah, you had to look cool. So I'd be like, Mom, Dad,
Yeah.
the other side of the square.
The other
please."
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But it's really cool, and they have totally redone it. You know, just to kind of preserve the history of it. So
Yes.
it's a really cool place.
Right.
Really cool place. And you might see a ghost there.
I know, right?
So
I love this last part. Whether your home has good bones or a few ghostly guests, we've got you covered. Happy Halloween from Heather and Amber. But on next episode, I wonder what we should talk about next week.
well, that's a great
I
question.
think
And we're kind of thinking about we'd
Well-
love to have our guests or our
We've got some big announcements coming up.
we do.
Yeah.
We
so if you follow our social media, we have 3 big announcements to make.
Yes.
We're going to make one on Monday, we're going to make one on Wednesday, and we're going to make one on Friday.
Yes.
And these are exciting things. It's going to be hard to keep it secret for another. Gosh, we still have all weekend. We can't talk about it.
No.
But yeah, we've got some cool announcements for you.
We do.
I think we can give you just a little bit of a hint. Maybe we're going to be bringing a couple new brokers on.
Mm-hmm.
2 new brokers.
Super
at the Danville
excited about
office.
it.
We can say that. We're just not going to tell you who they are yet.
Nope.
And
Wait till next week.
then Friday, we'll just save. We're not going to give you any hint on that one. That's going to be a fun one. When we roll that out, it's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be super fun. So we're super excited for that. But we always are open to any topics that you guys want to hear
Yeah.
about.
Oh, do we have any questions?
Not right now. Okay.
People are afraid of us.
We do kind of look scary.
I know. My makeup is itching.
Touching my face because I'm a little itchy.
These gloves kept me from it, but it's like right here, it's itching.
Uh huh. It's
All right.
tough,
Well,
tough to play the part, but we do it pretty well. So
stay tuned for some. Stay tuned to hear those announcements.
yes,
And then we'll figure out a really cool topic. Maybe we'll even have a guest on Thursday. We'll just have to figure that out.
we might. And we're working on a couple. So
Yes.
yeah, so definitely tune in next week, 1 o'clock, and we will be here as always.
And
Talking,
happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. So be safe and watch out for those ghosts.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.